between I can make a sandwich. There you go. All right, we're live. Hello, folks.
Good afternoon, everybody. Well, it's afternoon on Crunch Island. It's good night here in sunny Scotland.
Then it's good night on Crunch Island. So, but anyway,
it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon on Crunch Island.
Anyway, you are mistaken and confused, but moving on.
First of all, I just want to check and make sure that your werewolf is okay. The one that was howling last night.
At the moment,
yeah.
I can't say that. I can't say that that she won't kick up again.
All right. Okay. So anyway, yes. Hello, everybody. We're just going to quickly crack on, bash on. I must admit, dude, sometimes I don't mind it when people get in touch from the other side. I wish they could present a better argument, shall we say. I suppose it's very, very difficult when they're simply basing their supposed belief that Steve and Brendan are guilty based not on information but on just a hatred for them. You know, and for the fact that they realise that this is going to cause a huge problem.
Right.
You know, you saw what happened in that How to Fix a Drug scandal. 30,000 people, you know, basically case against them thrown out.
Yeah. And I'd venture to say a lot of those cases the person probably had actual drugs, but because of the fiasco created by those two lab techs, you know.
Well, I mean, even after the first 10, 15 minutes, I immediately turned to Eunice and said, you know what? It beggars belief that they don't have any kind of system of testing, of drug testing of the staff that work there, because it must be a huge temptation for some people.
Yeah, you would think.
As it certainly was for Sonia. Anyway, let's just quickly crack on, and I'll bring up the first slide for you to read first, if you would.
Alrighty.
And I
get to read people talking shit about me. This is awesome. Right on.
I'm going to go over here. Yes, there we go. So there's the first one, okay?
Yeah.
And I think I can even make it bigger still for you.
So Erekose,
if I do this.
Okay. So Erekose wants to talk about the truth. What a joke. I tell you what, Erekose and Paul, you two want to talk about the truth. How about it? You talk about how Ricciardi and Demos said they didn't have enough time to include all the evidence in MAM, at least all the evidence that makes SA look guilty. I don't believe that's what they said anyways, but they had enough time to leave in a scene that they knew was completely false, just to try to make Stephen Avery look innocent. Are they talking about?
Well, read on, and then we'll.
I assume they're talking about the bit that Colbert is talking about.
No, carry on.
They knew MAM1 in MAM1 that there was no way that the bus driver could have seen TH taking pictures of the car, but they left that scene in there anyway. Why? They could cut it. They could have cut that out of the whole scene with the bus driver and added a scene like where TH camera and cell phone are found burnt and destroyed in a burn barrel. Yeah, but the bus driver serves two purposes. Whether or not she saw Teresa that day or not, she establishes that Brendan and Blaine get off of the bus every day at the same time. That is one thing she establishes. Whether or not I get what this person's saying about the bus driver couldn't have seen Teresa, but that doesn't take away from her establishing the time that the bus would arrive there every day. And therefore, we know what time Brendan and Blaine would have been walking up, whether or not the bus driver saw Teresa. Anyways, all right, moving on. Where two people say they saw SA burning things in a burn barrel. that day, R. Fabian and Earl. And that both R. Fabian and Earl said that Stephen said that the photographer never showed up. Worse.
Hold on a sec. We'll carry on from worse yet.
Oh, I see. Worse yet, they could have addressed the bus driver in MAM2. After all, it was important to Zellner very unrealistic real killer theory. But no, they didn't want to do that because they don't want to admit they were purposely trying to deceive people. Don't worry, Erekose and Paul. I know you two don't have the balls to answer that question. I've asked it many times before with no response back. You two really don't want to talk about the truth. That's too boring for you. What you want to do is talk about is new wild conspiracy theory each and every week to entertain your bored little pea brains. You know what never changes, the truth. So why are you two changing your real killer theories each and every week? I haven't changed anything about anything, but whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
It says, just stating the truth, 44 minutes ago, edited. What bit of that did she edit? What bit of that did she read through and realize it didn't make sense?
Yeah. Oh yeah. But I know.
I couldn't believe that. I mean, I appreciate some people in a hurry. You know, their spelling and their grammar isn't always correct. You know, but my initial thought was, well, first of all, when she talks about it, and by the way, I do have suspicions about just stating the truth and Woody Pecker whatever her name is, are probably one of the same people. The grammar and punctuation is similar, and spelling is atrocious in both their cases. Well, there is zero evidence that makes either Stephen Avery or Brendan Dassey look guilty. There's a huge ton of evidence pointing towards Scott Taddy, Bobby Dassey, Ryan, and of course we've even got huge questions about Manitowoc Sheriff's Department, Calumet Sheriff's Department, Wisconsin Department of Justice, the Attorney General herself, and of course their family spokesperson Mike Holbeck. There's some real questions that they need to answer. So, you know, what is she saying that but they had enough time to leave in a scene that they knew was completely false? Well, no, because the bus driver regularly saw Teresa Holbach taking pictures, but it was at the roundabout where the bus stops, because sometimes at the salvage yard, you know where we parked when we arrived
by the sign.
Yard, right. Exactly. Well, no. As you come in, you're just about to turn right to go head down towards Stephen's caravan, or you carry on into the yard itself. Well, at that point there, that's where the bus turns around.
Okay.
That's where they sometimes have cars for sale. That's where, I suppose, you know, I realize they're running a scrapyard, but they have some cars which they consider more desirable, so they will put them on special display at that point. This is when...
Yeah, like they had that bus there when we were there last year.
Yeah, Lisa Buckner. Yeah. Right. So there was definitely occasions when everybody that was on that bus saw her taking photographs of a car. There is no doubt about that. But yes, on the day itself, of course, she couldn't possibly. She wasn't there at the right time, and you cannot see all the way to the end of the driveway, can you? From
right. But the important reason why she's left in is because she establishes that Brendan and Blaine get there. The bus is pretty much like clockwork. Gets there about 3:30 every day, like clockwork. That's the big thing established by the bus driver. Not so much that she saw Teresa taking pictures or whatever. I mean, it's just that's not really the big deal about the bus driver. So I think this person is misinterpreting what's important about the bus driver for one.
Well, yes. I mean, as she's putting here, but they left that scene in there anyway. Well, of course, they are filmmakers doing a documentary about what actually happened. You know, what they're doing is they're including everything that the lawyers presented on both sides. You know, I
Right.
mean, we discover after making a murder that Ken Kratz starts going on and on and on and on about the sweat DNA left on the hood latch. He barely mentions it, even in closing argument. The one time it gets mentioned, it's so he goes through it so quickly. It's almost as if it's irrelevant.
Right.
A bit like the key that you can set aside. But then she gets onto this business about, they could have cut out that scene and added a scene like where Teresa Hallmark camera and cell phone were found burnt and destroyed in the burn barrel. Well, there wasn't any camera people when they found that bit of supposed evidence.
Right.
It's a little bit like, we would have liked also some footage of them finding the bones and how the bones are actually found in the burn pit. But guess what? There's no footage of that. There is no footage of any of this. How can they possibly put in stuff that wasn't even there?
Right.
No. I mean, yes.
Go ahead.
The other thing is that, she talks about the fact that is it here where she talks about the fact that said that the photographer never showed up. Well, that's true. She never did she? Because he wanted her to come back and take pictures of a low loader.
Right. If he was speaking about she hadn't come back after.
Yeah.
Right.
That's why he phoned her.
Right.
Because he wanted her to come back, take pictures of a low loader, which of course is a transporter for motor vehicles. And, obviously they were thinking of selling it. And so he phoned her. But she never did come back. It's like other things that they try and twist is the fact that, and you've got this footage of Andy Colburn saying that when he first spoke with Stephen Avery, he said that, Andy Colburn says, well, did you speak to Teresa? And he said, no. Well, not in the sense that they had a long conversation about how wonderful the weather was for this time of year and what do you got on tonight? In other words, it was just a very short conversation. So when he says, did you talk to her? No, just handed the money and that was it. Handed over the book. Do you know what I mean? But they want to try and twist it.
Yeah.
It's a little bit like those leg irons in the thumbnail that I put up, This is what they want you to think. The leg irons were, but in actual fact, they were pink, furry, fluffy ones, weren't they?
Yeah, right. Well, yeah, they had, yeah.
Now, I want to take you to the second, and this is personally addressed to you, so you are definitely flavor of the month as far as woody woodpecker, pecky, woody peck, wood, whatever.
See, hey, Erekose, why did you in wood of your wood? Let's see. Why did you in wood of your? Oh, why did you in one of your videos? Is that
maybe?
Say that it was really gross that Prince Andrew, a man in his 40s, was sleeping with a teenage girl. I don't believe I actually said that he did do that. I believe I may have suggested that there's a severe possibility that he did, hanging around with Jeffrey Epstein.
It's still
so number one, I think you may be taking something I said out of context. So let me just start right there. Number two, let me get to the rest of this here. But then you never mentioned the fact that Stephen Avery, when in his 40s, was sleeping with his teenage niece. That is not gross. What the hell is wrong with you? Okay.
Well, I know plenty that's wrong with you, but it's nothing to do with the case.
As far as that goes, I have never said that Stephen Avery didn't have some rougher edges. Mm-hmm. I've never said that Stephen Avery was a perfect angel that never did anything wrong in his life. And I've never said any of those things. Those things are in there. But another thing, his conduct as to whether or not he was making good decision making of who he wanted to date and who he didn't want to date doesn't really have much to do with whether or not I think he killed somebody. So I think that's the problem you're having here. whoever that commenter is
Same one.
I'm not associating bad decision making in his dating life to being a murderer. These are, to me, not two things that relate to each other. But I've never applauded Stephen for that. The fact that him and Marie were involved. Never have I applauded him for that. So I think you're being disingenuous and putting words in my mouth that I didn't actually say.
Listen, look. I think we both agree that when Steve got out for 2 years, he kind of acted as if at times as if he was above the law.
Well, yeah, he may have had a bit of a puffed up attitude, and
that in effect he could do what he liked, but I mean this two things that struck me here. First of all, Marie Avery is not Stephen's niece.
Right. She's right. She's not actually blood related.
Through marriage, she became an Avery, but she's not.
Right.
She's not a member of the family.
Right.
And it was the mother who could have pressed charges. And what did she decide to do? Not to.
Right.
So therefore, it's again a little bit like Prince Andrew. Yeah, we have to wait and see what happens in his respect. But of course, Kathleen Zellner points out that he was never ever even accused, even arrested for inappropriate behavior with this girl.
Right.
Well, how old was she at the time? I can't remember exactly how old she was.
I believe she was 16.
Yeah.
Which in some states is legal age. I'm not sure if it is in Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm.
I know it is in Scotland.
Yeah.
But
you can get married at 16. They want to bring the voting age down, but it's legal.
They do want to. Right. I hear Ian Blackford talking about that often.
Yep. but no, my final point would be this. She's talking obviously about balls, so my offer would be, come on and discuss it live with us. Come and discuss it live with us.
That's what we got to do. We got to, that's what we got to do, Paul. We got to get we got to put together a voice synthesizer for a guest spot, so that we could get all these. I have one over on my other channel. I need one for, because they just keep sniping away at me at Twitter all weekend about Scottish independence, but they won't actually come on the show and talk to us. So, but they said if we got a good modulator that could disguise their voice, they do it. So maybe that's what we need to start figuring out how we can incorporate one of those in, so we can just start bringing all these people on, and they can feel assured that their identity will remain, unknown, right?
We'll have
to look into that. We'll have to ask Juan Tescrew, like, where he got his synthesizer from.
Absolutely, yeah. But here would be my main questions to any guilty that came on and discussed. Number one question, and I would, as you know, I would have loved to have got Ken Kratz to agree to have come on and had a chat with me, and right. I offered that to him. I even said you can sort of decide what you want to discuss. I said, but number one question for me is, why did you choose not to use Brendan Dass's computer against him?
Right.
Simple enough question. Was it tactical?
Right.
Were you being misled by various people into thinking that it was Brendan's computer when it was Bobby's?
Well, that's a good one, because it obviously takes you to the reason we weren't using it in Brendan's trials, because then Stephen's attorneys would have became aware of all of that evidence, and then they would have been using it in Stephen's appeals. So that's why you really didn't want to use it in Brendan's trial.
Yes. Also, I would love to discuss with any guilty, what about Mike Holbach and his grieving process? Yeah. Who grieves when somebody is merely missing?
Right.
The family are the last ones to accept
that they're dead, or right.
And this has created a huge sort of interest in the fact that, for a lot of people, they have no evidence whatsoever that she isn't still, even at this moment, still simply a missing person. You're always going to get that.
Yeah, potentially.
The state, you see, have the opportunity. Kathleen Zellner has said to them, I will test those bones for you. It won't even cost you a penny for me to do all the testing necessary to prove one way or another who the bones are, whether Stephen and Brendan are innocent or guilty. What would they rather do? Anything but.
Yeah.
Anything but.
Right.
And of course the other thing I would point out is that, I've had these various chats with Fleetside that's been very interesting, but Kathleen Zellner is limited in what she can look at and present because the investigation was such a farce.
Right.
Because they never went and did any kind of investigating of, they didn't even formally interview.
Yeah. Any avenue that looked like it pointed away from Avery, they didn't even take one step down that road. So, yeah.
Yep. So anyway, which channel should we have her on?
Should we have her on? Oh, I don't. Oh, I think it's for your channel that we talk to the guilters.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Anyway, I was going to finish off with a little clip of hopefully the guest that we're going to have in just about 25 minutes time.
Yeah, roughly.
Yep. So we'll click on this, and hopefully the audio will still work. And I'll go up to this. I think this is ready to go, and hopefully this will play.
Anjanette Levy has details about the jury who will hear the Avery trial. Anjanette.
Well, Aaron, those jurors are made up of everybody from laborers to a recording artist. There are 16 people who make up this jury. They're all from Manitowoc County, and every day they will meet here at the courthouse for a bus ride to Chilton. And over the next several weeks, they'll hear a bunch of evidence from both the prosecution and the defense. There are 8 men and 8 women from Manitowoc County who will decide whether Special Prosecutor Ken Kratz can prove beyond a reasonable doubt that Stephen Avery killed Teresa Hallbuck.
The defense is probably going to be fighting an uphill battle right from the beginning.
CBS 5 legal analyst Rob Bellin says the defense team doesn't have to prove Avery is innocent, but they do plan to present a frame-up defense. Bellin says it won't be easy due to pretrial publicity.
For them, they have to try to fight against those preconceived notions as well as, fight against the state's evidence and then put in their case. So, but it's not surprising.
Bellin expects the jury to treat both sides seriously and fairly.
The judges that are around here generally do a pretty good job of making sure that jurors understand that this is a very solemn occasion. Obviously, liberty is at stake. There's high emotions on both sides.
And despite what Bellin calls overwhelming evidence from the state, the case might not be a slam dunk.
From what I've seen so far, the defense is doing a real good job. They've got a defense they can hang their hat on. So I think it's going to be a fight. And you've got good prosecutors, you've got good defense attorneys, so I anticipate that we're going to have a very interesting trial.
Now, these jurors range in age from 20 to 80. They are not sequestered, so they will be able to go home every night. But Judge Willis said that might change if he finds out that the jurors are not abiding by his order to avoid media coverage of the case.
And Anjanette, you had an interesting day in court, an interesting experience that you write about in your courtroom journal.
That's right, Aaron. I'll be writing my courtroom journal tonight. I had the opportunity to speak with Stephen Avery off camera very briefly today, and that journal will be posted sometime tomorrow, if not tonight. You can read it on WFRV.com/Avery.
All right, look forward to it. Thanks, Anjanette. Anjanette Levy live in Manitowoc this evening.
Okay, so that was
Robert Bellin.
Hopefully that came through for everybody.
Yep, I was able to hear it.
Good.
Let's see here.
So as I say, it's quite interesting that I mean, I've known Rob Bellin now since getting involved in the making the $50 million bullet. The Eagle, getting slightly more interested in the film being done by David Starr.
Right.
And if you remember when we had the chat with Jerome and Dan Davis, Dan Davis says, "Oh yes, I know Rob." Oh, sorry.
autoplay, darn it.
The other one that I got set up. I don't know if do you want to watch this one? This is a good one. Oh, I need to I need to share screen, don't I? I've got one more to go after this, a little one. We'll just quickly talk about this first of all. That, as I say, I knew Rob Bellin from the fact that he was actually one of the defense lawyers for Ken Kratz in his civil suit.
Yeah.
So, like I say, it's going to be interesting to see what Rob's thoughts are. Particularly, I would like to hear a little bit about, how do you fix these huge problems of injustice?
Right.
Talking about that,
or at least what he thinks needs to happen.
Yeah, here is a trailer for something that's coming out on Netflix in, I think, about just over a week's time.
Okay.
In fact, when is the state's response due? Is it the 17th?
I think so. I think it's something like that.
I think this comes out the day afterwards. We'll just quickly do this, and hopefully this will come out okay.
April 15th. All right.
It'll be interesting if I could ever figure out how to navigate this computer screen. That would be interesting. I'm just glad that we're on your channel next, dude.
Right on.
Right. Anyway, have you got time for any other questions? I don't know that we did have any questions. I know you were keeping a track of them.
I didn't see many questions.
No.
Seemed like everybody was just being chatty today.
Yeah. So we'll catch you in about quarter now, okay?
Okay. Actually, no, I bumped it 15 minutes because I need.
Okay.
I gotta eat a sandwich before we go. So
you got to keep.
I gotta mix up some tuna and stuff and make a sandwich. So
if you were out all night long with your werewolves, you must have been really tired this morning. It takes a lot out of you, dude.
Dude, I'm still tired. As soon as we're done talking to Robert Bellin, I may take a nap. That's on the real.
Oh my goodness. That is the height.
Erekose must be getting old. I guess Hey, can I say?
I hope the dog comes and jumps all over you, licks you to death.
There you go. It'll just howl, keeping me awake. There you go.
Okay, dude. We'll catch you soon, and thank you everybody for joining. You know the script by now.
Oh yeah. If you haven't already, folks, please hit subscribe. And that's bye from me.
And it's goodbye from him. Bye.
See you later.
See you later. See you soon.